Through one card, Mech has catapulted itself from a cyber strategy that players often forget about to the next budget meta deck. I mean, seriously, if you add up the cards in this particular profile as the core, you're gonna spend about maybe $40 for the entire Mech core that you need. In today's video, not only am I going to be giving you a deck profile and a combo tutorial, I'll also even provide budget options for the cards that may be a little bit too expensive outside of the core. Of course, if you want to see more things Mech, I even have a testing video. Go ahead and check out Mech testing for you to get all of the information you need from Mech alongside this video. And again, if you guys want to know exactly what sleeves that I'm using, go to TheCaliEffect.com for the Raven Wing sleeves. Oh my God, these are amazing. But with that being said, I won't waste any more of your time. Let's go ahead and jump on in so I can explain to you why Mechs are so powerful inside of this format, post Power of the Elements. So Mech's got one card from Power of the Elements to make this deck ridiculously bonkers, and that's Mech Circular. Of course, we're gonna play 3 copies of that monster. Basically, what it does is that it can special summon itself to the side of the field by sending a Mech monster from the deck to the graveyard. Now, oftentimes, you're gonna wanna send Mech Sigma from your deck to your graveyard, as this card can special summon itself to the side of the field. All you have to do is control no monsters in your extra monster zone. This easily creates a 1-card combo where you can synchro summon into 8 or exceed summon into 4 without even using your normal summon. And if I were to say that Mech Circular was done there, it actually gets a lot stronger. When a Mech monster is summoned while Circular is on your field, you can add one Mech spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So not only is it a free special summon and gets you Extender, it allows you to search a card like Mech Equation, which can special summon another Mech monster to your side of the field, or Mech Super Fractorial. This card is one of the best cards inside of the deck because during your opponent's turn, it allows you to exceed summon into powerful monsters like Mech Laplacian to be able to send cards from your opponent's field hand to the graveyard, or synchro summon if you're in a pinch. Another card that you could play is Mech Induction. Its first effect is actually really mid, but its other effect? It can destroy a card on your opponent's side of the field. But the Mech strategy actually doesn't stop there. Through that one combo, we still haven't invested our normal summon. You'd probably think, oh, do the Faithful Adventure engine, but Mech actually has a very good normal summon that can provide a disruption in itself. We're gonna play 3 copies of Mech Diameter. Not only does this monster give a Mech monster a negation, spell, trap, or monster, preventing your opponent from using cards like Nibiru, Ash, Valor, it doesn't matter here. It also is a junk synchron-like card, special summoning a Mech monster to your side of the field. And what makes Mech Diameter so deadly is that Mech Diameter plus any other Mech monster that you can special summon to your side of the field is full combo. Whether you guys are using your extenders like Mech Subtraction or Mech Addition plus Diameter, you can essentially get the exact same combo as your Mech Circular. All you have to do is work in reverse order, and of course I'll show you that. Now, Mech Subtraction is probably the most expensive Mech monster at about $5, that's 15, and Super Factorial is the most expensive trap card for Mechs, or the most expensive non-monster at about $8 each. At the very lowest, those are the most expensive cards for Mech, bringing you a grand total of $39 for the most expensive cards. Everything else for Mech is extremely cheap and easy to get to if you go to the lowest rarity. By the way, if you are going on TCG Player to buy this deck, make sure you use my link. It really does help me out. The last Mech we're going to include is Mech Nebula. Not only is this monster a tuner, so it's a little bit easier to search into, it also can turn itself into a Mech Diameter, which with these other cards would be full combo still. Nebula can also serve as an update jammer, allowing you to be able to target a monster in your extra monster zone and give it the ability to attack twice. So you don't necessarily need update jammer in this deck if you can put Nebula in your graveyard that turn. One thing I was going to do was drop Nebula for a 3rd copy of Parallel Exceed, and the reason why I like that is because Exceed plus Circular will give you the ability to be able to search any spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Think Dimensional Barrier, think Anti-Spell Fragrance. Seriously, think about any of the most toxic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You literally can search them within this deck. And to fully complement the Math Mechs to make it an even 20 cards, meaning that you should open 2 Math Mech cards or Math Mech cards alike, we're going to play 2 copies of Cynet Mining. Now, one thing that I really wanted to say about this deck is that consistency is king. Parallel XE plus any Math Mech monster is full combo. Cynet Mining plus any Math Mech monster is full combo. Circular and Diameter plus any Math Mech monster is full combo. And that's something that you don't always get with budget decks. You normally have to sacrifice consistency because the most expensive cards are normally the search cards. Cynet Mining being fairly cheap on itself, I think the cheapest is maybe $3 right now. And keep in mind, those are skyrocketing price values right now. This means that the entire Math Mech core might be a little bit above $40 if you have absolutely nothing, but it's still really, really good to be able to get a budget deck that's going to be really, really competitive. Moving forward for the hand traps, and this is probably where a lot of people may seem or may have to resort to the budget option. I only play 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring Gear. I complement that with 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and I complement that with 2 copies of DD Crow, and of course I complement that with 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Fortunately enough, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is getting a reprint in the 2022 Megatins that's coming out this month, next month, one of these months. For the people that cannot afford Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring right now, Effect Veiler is a very, very cheap budget alternative. Keep in mind, guys, you do not have to play the rarity that I'm playing. Infinite Impermanence is roughly a $10 card as well. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit comes extremely cheap, and DD Crow, well, you might have to pay just a little bit more than I would hope that you pay for the cheaper versions, but it's still an amazing card this format. We complement our full arsenal of hand traps with 1 copy of Call by the Grave. You never want to get caught lacking by one of your opponent's hand traps. Now, these are going to be fairly expensive cards that I'm going to mention next. Following up, I play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet and 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This is literally where the most expensive cards from this deck comes at. 1 copy of Forbidden Droplets is literally worth more than the entire deck. Fortunately enough, there's actually an alternative to Forbidden Droplets that a lot of players are already playing anyways. You can even make an argument to play this card over Droplets even if you did have Droplets. Dark Ruler No More serves a similar purpose to Droplets, negating all of your opponent's cards, and also doesn't require you to send cards from your hand or field to the graveyard in order to activate its effect. And if you are playing Dark Ruler No More, I think it is mandatory to play Geomath Mech Magma in your deck because that card actually helps you clear boards and is stupid cheap. As for Triple Tactics Talent, there is no budget alternative to Talent. This card is genuinely a do-it-all type card. It can help you crack boards when your opponent hand traps you, it draws you cards. It's just an overall amazing card, but fortunately enough, we do have an alternative. I would actually suggest upping the contents of your hand traps, playing an additional DD Crow, playing an additional Effect Veiler, playing an additional Ghost Ogre. All of those cards are extremely good in this format. You can even mix it up by playing cards like Ghost Mortar and Moonlit Chill. That card is actually really good. And the more hand traps you have in this particular deck, it actually works out in your favor, and I'll tell you a little later. The last card is your Floodgate of choice. I chose Dimensional Barrier because this card is completely cracked against the meta. Now for the extra deck, I'm gonna kind of blaze through this because of course I want to show you those combos. Access Code Talker is a card that you do not have to play. You literally do not have to play if you can't afford it. For people looking for alternatives, Apollousa Bow of the Goddess is very much summonable inside of this deck, but if you are going that route, strongly suggest you play Link Disciple and Link Devotee. And then there's Mech Crusadia Avermax. This card can be made with IP Masquerena, and a lot of the meta just can't handle it. For the rest of this, there's 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Transcode, 1 Decode Talker Heat Soul. This card actually comes up because the more times you activate this effect, the more probable you are to draw hand traps, and if you're on a more hand trap heavier build, the more disruptions you'll have. 1 Update Jammer, 1 Splash Mage, 1 Cyberse Wicket, 1 IB, 1 Link Grebo, 1 Final Sigma. I actually do still play Geomath Mech Magma. I think that this card is ridiculously good. It destroys 2 cards on the field by destroying something from battle. It is a Math Mech monster that is level 8, so sometimes Diameter goes straight into it and provides you a negation because you use Diameter. It can also even search a Math Mech spell or trap from your deck to your hand, but I mean, normally you summon this, you're going for the gusto. 2 copies of Alimbertian and 2 Laplacian. And that is all for the main board, the extra deck, and the sideboard. Let me show you these combos. So first, for the 1-card combo, it's just Circular by his solo dolo. We're gonna special summon Circular by sending Geomath Mech Sigma into our graveyard, and then activate Sigma, summoning itself, triggering the effect of our Circular. We'll add Super Fractorial. From here, we'll Exceed summon with both of our monsters, right into our Alimbertion and trigger the effect of Alimbertion to detach 2 materials to be able to add from our deck to our hand. Our monster of choice is going to be our Diameter, and then we'll normal summon our Diameter using its effect to be able to special summon from the graveyard our Mech Circular. We then can link off our Circular and our Diameter to our Cyberse Wicket, and then we can activate the effect of Alimbertion to special summon any Mech monsters from our graveyard to our side of the field. That'll trigger the effect of Wicket, banish your Alimbertion from your graveyard to be able to add back into your hand another copy of your Diameter, and then finally you can use Diameter and Cyberse Wicket for a link summon into a Deco Talker Heat Soul. In this particular combo, it's pretty cracked. Deco Talker Heat Soul will give us a card on our turn and a card on our opponent's turn. We also have Super Fractorial with 3 monsters in the graveyard to be able to make Alimbertion on our opponent's turn, send a card, 2 potential cards from our opponent's field and hand to the graveyard with its negation effect. We even have follow-up with Mech Diameter, which can normal summon itself and special summon another material and go from there. Now that's kind of nutty for a 1-card Mech combo. So next I'm actually going to show you how Mech Circular plus any 2 extenders is your searchable floodgate. You can do this with Parallel Exceed, but I actually did that video on my testing video, so go ahead and check that out if you want to see that particular combo. In this particular combo, we're going to use Circular, Subtraction, and Addition here. I'm going to go ahead and activate my Circular, sending my Sigma to the graveyard, then summoning my Sigma to add Super Fractorial. We don't need the effect to be able to add our Mech spell card from our decks to our hand, Mech Equation, because we already have 2 extenders. We'll special summon both monsters to the side of the field by reducing and subtracting, and then we'll use all 4 monsters for an Exceed summon into Alimbertion. Using Alimbertion's effect, we will detach 4 materials, and we'll be able to add our Floodgate of choice and Dimensional Barrier. In this particular situation, we have the ability to be able to special summon 4 monsters to our side of the field, or 3 monsters to our side of the field, which will be able to make Laplacian for the disruption of 2 or 3. And we also have the Dimensional Barrier or whatever Floodgate to prevent our opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So in this particular combo sequence, I'm going to show you how Parallel Exceed plus any Mech monster is still full combo. I'm going to commit my normal summon to Subtraction and then use Subtraction for a link summon into Link Kribo. I'll trigger Parallel Exceed to summon itself to where the Link Kribo points to, and then special summon the second Exceed. From here, I'll go ahead and Exceed summon with both my Exceeds, sounds weird, into my Alimbertion, detaching 2 materials here to be able to search a Mech monster from my deck to my hand. Keep in mind, I've already used the ability to be able to normal summon, so Circular is our only real target here. We'll special summon Circular this time. Instead of sending a Sigma, you could use Sigma, but there's no point. We'll send Diameter from our decks to the graveyard. And then we'll trigger the effect of Alimbertion. Really tricky here that you do not special summon the Diameter. We'll special summon the Subtraction or the Fire monster or the other attribute monster back to our side of the field, triggering the effect of Circular. Circular will add our Super Fractorial here, and then we'll link summon with all 3 of our remaining monsters into our Deco Talker Heat Soul. Now, what exactly did this combo do? Well, you already know how our Deco Talker Heat Soul will give us 2 cards, but we also have our Super Fractorial to be able to special summon 3 Mech monsters with Diameter included and Exceed summon into our Laplacian. Then our effect of Laplacian will be able to activate and we'll have the disruption with Diameter. Of course, this specific combo can only be done if you have Addition or Subtraction in your hand. If you have to start this initial combo with a light or a dark monster, you have to make Splash Mage first in order to make your Deco Talker Heat Soul. And lastly, Diameter plus any Mech monster is still full combo, whether it's in hand or graveyard. As long as the monster is an extender, you good. Start off by normal summoning your Diameter and then special summoning your other Mech monster, and then you use both of those monsters for an Exceed summon into your Alimbertion. Keep in mind that since Diameter is under your Alimbertion, you actually have protection, so a lot of times this is probably the better combo. Go ahead and detach 2 materials from your monster to be able to search from your deck to your hand. We'll search the Circular, then we'll activate the Circular's effect. We'll special summon Mech Circular to our side of the field by sending Mech Sigma from our decks to our graveyard, and since we control no monsters, we can special summon the Sigma. Trigger the effect of your Mech Circular to add Super Fractorial, and then from here, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel real risky here, you can make Cyburst Wicked and then use the effect of Alimbertion to special summon, which will trigger Wicked to be able to search another diameter. But if you really feel your opponent has hand traps, then you might want to stay cautious. Use Mech Circular and Sigma for a Link summon, make Splash Mage can then special summon and then Link again. Here's your Decode Talker Heat Soul, which will net you 2 additional cards as well as the Super Fractorial. And that is all that I have for the Mech deck profile. Let me know, what do you think? Is Mech a budget meta deck? Am I cap? Personally, I do think that this is a really strong deck that a lot of players should be fearing. Mech, welcome to the Cybers family. If you want to see more amazing content, be sure to check out these videos. And if you want to see Master Duel Cali, well, check out Master Duel Cali. Nothing's stopping you. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next one.